we do. Last episode, we did Orlando shooting. We cut off right at that police mark. Heard that there was some dialogue about that. If you want to go into the police, I mean, that's an option. Or you want to go into heroin, that's an option. You want to go into shootings, apparently that's an option too. Like anything that you want to talk about, Pettit, the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about today? What is the show going to be about? We can switch subjects, we can flip subjects.
Cops are a whole day's worth of fucking problems.
I feel like that would be a lot of dialogue.
Yeah. Cops,
for sure.
Cops are a whole... It's such a... It's like, I know it's probably one of the hardest jobs in the world, but at the same time, like, they have to admit that they're doing things wrong.
For sure.
I mean, I don't like the fact that they don't come out and, like, instead of saying, all right, like, that guy shouldn't have done this, they kind of protect it with the blue line. You know what I mean?
Let's introduce the subject. So basically, we kind of ended off with, we were basically talking about the misconduct from cops.
Right.
And from my understanding, that got dialogue. There was some cops mad about that because why? Did they take it like you said all cops are that way, or?
Yeah, see, that's the thing is, like, if you talk bad about a cop, they assume that you hate all cops.
Yeah.
And I've tried to explain to people before is I don't hate all cops. There are some good cops. I mean, I want to think that the majority are good cops.
Upstanding citizens, yes sir.
The thing here is, though, is at some point they have to admit that they were treating people, mainly black people, a certain way for a long period of time, and now that everyone's got phone cameras, it's getting out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? You got Rodney King happened in what, 94, 95, 96, somewhere around. Yeah. And that was the first time something like that's ever been caught on camera. Exactly. Definitely not the first time that's ever happened, for sure.
Oh, no, definitely. You're absolutely right.
Now we're coming into where people are recording the cops when they do anything.
To the point that we're actually seeing, not to cut you off, but like there have been some deaths that have actually been caught on camera. Yeah. And the cops still get off. It makes no sense.
I don't know. It's such a... It pisses me off because they went from protecting and serving to now they have like a bully mentality to where they tell us what to do and we have to do it, and if you don't comply, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah,
they definitely have an arrogance and a swagger. It's like that badge just puts on this other role, which in a way, like, I understand you're dealing with a whole, like, you're dealing with the whole county that you have to respond to, that you have to engage with. So like some of the calls you probably don't want to have to go out and actually have to handle like you would think. But at the same time, like how you're saying, you still have a duty to the people too. So like the way that you carry yourself and the way that you present yourself to people is definitely important.
Absolutely. I'm going to reiterate one more time and I'm going to say it again. I don't think all cops are bad. However, somewhere along the lines, they became a force to where if we don't listen, they can do whatever they want. They don't get in trouble for it. And they police for profit. Okay. And by that I'm saying, like, there's just a bunch of rules out there that are designed for them to make money off us for when we don't follow these rules. Parking tickets. Why can they tell me where I can park? I can see if it's a safety hazard, but like shit like that just pisses me off.
I feel you.
Recently, within the last couple months, my truck that I don't drive because I have a work truck was parked at my dad's house because it needed an inspection, and that's where I fix things at because he lives on a flat road and I don't have to worry about the car rolling on top of me.
So it's convenient, yeah.
So it was out of date.
It's actually safer for you to do it. Okay.
It was out of date of inspection and it was sitting in front of his house. Now, Washington police do foot patrols. I don't know when they started it or how they go about doing it, but they were doing foot patrols. Okay. He walked past my dad's house, and my brother calls me and says, "There's a cop outside behind your truck." And I said, "What's he doing?" He said, "He's writing in his book. I don't know what he's doing." So, well, is it like for us? And he was like, yeah. So I tell him, go out there and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
So my brother goes out there, and he asks him what's going on, and the guy says, I can hear him on the phone. He's automatically being an asshole.
From the gate, yeah.
He's
this
like,
happens a lot in Washington County. I'm sorry to say this, it does.
He says, is this your car? My brother says, no. He says, okay, I got nothing to say to you then. Okay. Then my brother's like, it's my brother's car. And he was like, well, is your brother... because it's registered to Jen.
Yeah.
But that's my fiance. And he's like, well, that's my brother's fiance. Like, what's going on? He was like, your inspection's out.
Okay.
And okay, cool, like whatever. I understand. What's the deal here?
Exactly.
He writes a fine for $660.
600. Wait, how much?
$660.
Come on, man.
For, get this, vehicle abandonment.
It's in front of your dad's house.
Exactly. It's my dad's house.
Yeah, it's not like you left.
Which eventually will be my house.
Exactly.
So, and my brother's there telling him this is our dad's house. He writes me a ticket. So I tell him, can I talk to him? I'm on the phone, put him on the phone. I want to talk to him.
Yeah.
By this time, the cop's buddy who is in the car drives up because I'm sure he has to enter the ticket into the computer.
Okay.
So the guy's already in the car, and Jared knocks on the window, and the guy rolls down the window just a little bit and says, what? Jared said, my brother wants to talk to you. And the cop goes, I don't have nothing to say to him, and rolls up the window. And my brother's like, hey, he's being an asshole. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the cop heard him say that and rolled down the window. And
now he wants to talk.
And was like, I can tow it if you want to. By this time, I'm irate. I'm screaming on the phone, tell the motherfucker to tow it then.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. I don't even use the fucking thing.
Exactly.
So we go to court. Now this is where it gets all the way pisses me off. I take a day off work. Jen takes a day off work. We go to court. We're there for 10 minutes waiting in the waiting room. They call us up. As we're walking in, we don't even get to the bench. We're walking in, the judge says, Did you get it fixed? Yeah, here's the paper. So hand him the paper. He looks at it. The cop looks at it. He says, okay, you guys are good. You can leave. What? 25 seconds tops.
So you're taking off your days of work, and Jen probably take off a day of work, so that's paid from both you and her.
Plus, if we would have had to pay the fine, that's an extra $660 for vehicle abandonment.
That's insane.
And that's just one thing that I think that somewhere along the lines, I don't know what happened, but like they're policing us for profit. They're giving these fines out to inflate their budget. You know what I mean? So they're getting money for the county.
I totally feel you on that.
On top of that, I just think
there's always been those rumors about the quota, you know what I mean, aspects of it too. Like you have to get a certain amount, a certain number per month. A cop will definitely tell you that that's not true, but that rumor has always floated around for.
Yeah, I don't think they can use the word quota, but they definitely like.
Or like a stipend or something to
like,
that extent.
You know, if you're whoever sees that you haven't written X amount of tickets in a certain amount of time, I'm sure they tell you like, hey man, like.
You know what was a good thing in Washington? There was a thing, and actually the Observer reported there's something good. About a couple weeks ago, there was a picture posted right outside of Maple Terrace, and there was a cop with kids. Like he was actually engaged with kids. Like he took his time. I mean, he got out the car and see. I don't know if he played with them or not, but they definitely seemed to have like a comfort with him. I think that we're definitely going to need a lot more of that going on in this city, so there could be a rapport with the people, with the kids, and with the police. Like that was one example of something that was positive that was done with policing. And I think that I've seen videos and stuff like that that's happened in like other cities, like whenever they play basketball and things
for sure.
like that.
I love the positive videos for sure.
Yeah,
I like those. But there's a lot more negative ones out there.
Exactly.
And I mean, of course, you're not gonna record something positive because people love the negative shit. You know what I mean? Like it's way better. You're gonna get more hits on a negative video, like a cop kicking someone's ass. With that being said, I'd much rather see more positive ones because I know there's stuff out there. They just probably don't get, reported on as much because that's just not how people are wired.
Yeah, well, I mean, the arrogance is definitely there. I know I've been mistreated by the cops before. I know I can probably just name out names of countless stories that I've heard about other people with interactions with different cops. I know with a lot of names in here. he definitely put his hands on me before, got away with it. The way he carried himself, it was definitely the arrogance.
That thing where like
the intimidation type, kind of like the bravado that came with it. Like he definitely, from my understanding, carries himself. He's like a chameleon, depending on
who's around.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the thing. I don't like being a DUI checkpoint, for example. That's they're not lawful. You know what I mean? I don't have to answer any I didn't do anything wrong. I was driving my car. My paperwork's good. Fuck you. You lean in and you're like, how much have you had to drink? Suck my dick.
This is how they get people. This is what they do. I had a class. Like I went to school. I don't know if people know. Like I'm not saying I'm an expert, but like criminal justice. Like that's what my major was. And like with the checkpoints, it's how like they. I definitely believe in certain situations they are targeting people, pulling them over. What they do though is that they try to have a standard. They make a standard like that you have to do every 10 cars or something like that, and that so they'll keep doing that. But I definitely feel like they pick and choose. But that's how they get out of it. Like if you ever try to fight it, that's what they're going to say is that like no, we do it at random. We count 10 cars and we select you.
Yeah.
That's just like their protocol that they do, so they can. That's like a loophole how they get out of it. But like, I heard that like from a professor, and that's how basically their ins and outs on how they do that though with the checkpoints, which are bogus.
Absolutely, the shit like that. It's like I got pulled over in Ohio the other day, and he pulled me over and he asked me if I knew what the speed limit was, and I said yeah. He said, well, what is it? I was like, you don't know what it is? And he's like, well, of course I know what it is. I said, okay, so we're good then. And he was like, well, the speed limit's 25. I was like, okay. At the time, I thought it was 35. But I wasn't going, I just hit a red light and I went. So, like, I probably didn't get over 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He said, you appeared to be going over the speed limit. And I said,
appeared?
Yeah. And I said, well, how fast was I going? And he didn't answer. And he was like, well, it just looked like you were going faster than what you were. I was like, okay, so.
Case closed.
Yeah, like, you don't know.
It just looked like.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, they do certain things. They ask you certain questions to try to trip you up, which to me is bullshit. I hate saying it, and I don't hate saying it. We fucking pay your bills. We pay your paychecks. You're there you're a public servant.
That's why I wish that we had an input. Like, I feel like their reviews should be done by us.
It
like,
should be a voting.
Feel like it
should be voted
You should
on.
have to vote on like the reviews on each cop every year. The way that you have a review in your in your job annually to see if you're going to get a raise, like they should have that. They're a public official.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you're there representing us. You're there to protect us. You're there to serve us. You are not there to bully me around. You're not there to try to get me in trouble.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That should, your job should be like a reaction, not, you know what I mean, being a dick.
Goodness, there's so many, like we can go anywhere with this police thing. I can even go to the aspect that like whenever I was growing up in Washington, there were at least there were 3 cops that were black that like actually gave, I don't know if I can't say it inspired kids to be a cop, but like to anybody that wanted to be in that field or in that lane, it showed that you can actually get there.
Yeah, dude.
We had Kevin Brown, Tanko, and Dallas. And I mean, they were cops. I think they retired. Like they did their whole career.
And isn't it crazy how like they still like when you ask the question why aren't there any black cops, they still ride on those names. Like, well, we used to have black cops.
There's the standard and the protocol to get there. I feel like it's kind of bogus. I feel some type of way that I have a degree in that field, but if I applied for a job, I can't. But if somebody just graduated with a GED and they go take this specific course, you're automatically
it's like Act 120 for your municipality.
Is like, that's all that you basically need. Like, to me, I basically, if I wanted to do that, just threw away my whole, like, there was no sense of me going to college, basically, if I should have just been able to have the information and known to go that route.
I wanted, since I was in high school, I wanted to be a cop. And as I got older and started thinking about it and realizing it, I just wasn't built to be that type of guy.
Yeah.
Couple things I'd like to get out here though. If I see a cop who has one of my friends on the ground in handcuffs and they're punching or kicking them in the head, it's fucking go time. I'm jumping on it. Now, I might get shot. I might get tased.
You already shot.
But I've told my friends before, like, listen, I've seen it happen on videos in other countries, to where there's so many more of us than there are them. If somebody would just one person hops on a cop, everybody's gonna do it. I think. And I'm not telling people to go out there and whoop a cop's ass. But listen though, we have to stick up for ourselves too. Like, we have to protect ourselves.
I'm gonna beat you up, Pettit. I'm gonna tell you why. In 2006, like, I'm trying to be like politically correct. Fuck being politically correct. In 2006, I was at Walmart. I was in the parking lot. A friend of mine had gotten out the car and had an argument with somebody else. I came out my car to kind of diffuse the situation, and I ended up getting in an argument myself. Cop comes down, basically asks if there was a problem. I said no. The guy says no. The guy goes into Walmart. I'm walking back to my car. Like, hey, you, get to your car. No, he's like, get against the car. I'm like, what did I do? And he was like, get against the car now. So I, at that point, surrendered. Got down. Well, there was some folks that, like, when he was telling me to get on the ground, I was like backing up as he was saying that. So it wasn't like I was just completely still when he was saying
you didn't just jump on the ground.
I did back up, like, and I was close to my car when it happened, and then he pulled his gun out. So I'm not going to act like I was just like standing there and he pulled his gun out. Like I took a couple steps back. Anyway, pulls his gun out. I got on the ground. He goes to handcuff me. He gets one arm, and then he uses this word, stop resisting. I never fought. Like, at that time, I was on the ground like I had one arm cuffed. Bow, bow, bow. Couple elbows to the back, to the shoulder, to the neck, one to the head. At that time, my boy, who was with me, was like, yo, you can't be hitting my boy. The minute he said something, at this time, there was an East Wash cop that had came to the scene as well. He gets the same motherfucking treatment. Bow, and then he actually got clubbed. It wasn't no elbows. He got clubbed. Got a couple knees. Get the other arm. Got handcuffed. Got drugged in the parking lot. A good 6 feet. Just stopped. The treatment at the police station was just horrible. The processing probably took about 2 hours. I'm not even going to go into the specifics of like the individual conversation that me and him had, because the stuff that he was saying to me,
and that's
was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and it puts you to the point where it's like, bro, take me out these cuffs, drop that fucking badge,
exactly,
and let's really see what's good. And that's what I think the problem is. They put that badge on, they feel they can kick your ass and do whatever they want.
Yep.
And they know they're not going to get in trouble.
And they say stop resisting. That's like the key word.
As soon as they touch you, stop resisting. But what I'm, like I said, I'm not saying go fight a cop just because the cop's there. What I'm saying though is if I see one of my friends, what's probably going to happen is they're going to whoop my ass and we're both going to go to jail. But I'm not gonna let some cop. See, like your friend there was like, yo, you can't hit my boy. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
I'm hopping on him. I have to.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let you just whoop my friend's ass while he's in handcuffs. And I've seen if you YouTube just police harassment, there was one. The girl was sitting in handcuffs with her on the ground, and the cop just kicks her in the face. No matter what she's saying to you, I don't care if she called your mother a whore and your mother died from, whatever, cancer. I don't give a fuck. You can't just kick someone in the fucking face. That's your job. I understand that job is really hard. I get that. I understand you deal with assholes 99% of the time. You signed up for that though, bro.
Oh my
you
goodness.
Fucking signed up for it.
I gotta talk about another situation because you're getting into it. Like, alright, I'm gonna use a situation with my uncle. And if any cop is out here watching this, please write a comment down and inform me on what to do in these situations, because like this makes no sense to me. So, me and my uncle, this is when I lived with my grandma. It was me and my grandma and my uncle. We lived together. We were in our house. Somebody got pulled over like right out front.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to see what was going on. Basically, I was kind of in the doorway. My uncle was on the porch. Cop turns around. You know this guy? Uncle looks. Yeah. Get back in your house. He looks literally like this and says, "What did I do? Like, I'm on my porch. I didn't come out towards you."
Yeah,
I said,
"Get back into porch."
I get back into your. He cut him off. get back into your house right now, basically. And he looked at him again, like, he's like, I'm on my porch. By the third time that he says something, the taser's already out, and he's talking to him with the taser. He gave him a warning saying, if you don't get into your house, I'm going to tase you. My uncle goes to ask another question. Boom, tased him. The place where he tased him, my uncle's not feeling it because like he had got shot, so there's some nerve endings that he had taken out to certain areas to be replaced into other areas. So whenever he's getting tased, he's still looking like, what the hell? Another cop jumps over. Both cops that were responding to the situation comes over and they both tase him. He gets arrested. The person in the car got arrested. They both went up to the state police together. Like, it's crazy. Like, where is the line, like, that you can't, like, stand on your porch if you're not impeding and you're not doing anything towards that situation? Like, I understand that, like, a cop has to control the situation before he actually engages with, like,
you gotta
the person. Yeah.
But I'm on my porch. You asked me a question.
Exactly.
And you're telling me I have to go in my house because you say so?
I see that so often in Washington County. It's like, if you come close to like something, like whenever they have somebody pulled over, they'll tell you to back up or go away. And if you ask a question, right away they're ready just to go gun home.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what can I do? Like, what if this person actually needs help? What if this is a family member? Like, where is the line? Like,
what if behind those, those cops are telling you to back up, they're whooping his ass with a baton?
What is the proper protocol? I know somebody's probably going to comment and be like, listen to the police. If he says go in the house, go in the house. But if that's your house and that's your dwelling and you're allowed to sit on your porch and watch. Somebody can't tell you to go in your house. Especially like if the situation is like the person was pulled over. He just asked a question. That was it.
You came over and approached me on my porch.
It makes no sense, but I see that intimidation too. Like whenever somebody's in trouble and you come close to the scene to find out information, it's just automatically that they're not trying to give you anything. It's just straight intimidation. Get the fuck back.
Yeah, and I understand like you're trying to control. You don't want anything to happen. You don't want anyone sneaking up on you with anything. I get that. Mm-hmm. But if I'm standing there with my hands up and I'm talking to you, you don't need to fucking touch me. It's just not, don't touch me.
Exactly.
And people like me, if someone pushes me, I'm instantly like bro, don't fucking touch me again.
Fight or flight, but it's more fight.
Don't touch me again. And that's the thing with cops. I just don't understand when we went from you're protecting and serving us as a public servant to now y'all are bullies, I guess.
Exactly. Like I'm not trying to say like everybody go out and get a DUI. DUIs are bad, but I also had heard there was a time like if you were caught or you were even about to drive drunk, a cop would just put you in the car and take you home and drop you off until like your spouse or your mother or wherever you were going that was home just to, hey, he was drunk, get the car tomorrow, don't let him do that again, basically.
The cop on a foot patrol. Why couldn't you have just been wrote a note on my car or something to the point where senior inspection's out of date, you need to get it fixed.
Exactly.
I'd even accept you have X amount of days to move this car until we get it towed or you get a fine. Off the gate, $660?
That's bogus.
And who really has $660 to come up off of?
No, you're on that payment plan, like 20 a month, like everybody else that has to.
Fuck you,
just like how you're saying. What is it? They're doing it for a profit?
Yeah, it's policing for profit. That's what it is. And that's what it is. They're getting money. Like they're a for-profit organization.
I feel like what we're asking is like, where is the calm and courtesy? Like, where is that line? When does it exist? How does it happen?
Now we can roll it into this as well. Is they want community cooperation, but they treat you like shit.